Hello and welcome to Investing Bros. I, of course, am T-Shroom, and I've got a special guest for you all today. His name is Crypto Archie. Maybe you've heard of him. Of course you have. He's one of the best gem pickers out there in the cryptoverse. We're going to be hearing from him in just a few minutes. But first, I need to show you guys, if you are just waking up, you tuned out yesterday, there has been absolute mayhem going on in the crypto space. So let me show you really quickly. This was a tweet that went out yesterday, and this apparently was a tweet that was not supposed to go out from the official U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission Twitter account, X account. It says, today, the SEC grants approval for hashtag Bitcoin ETFs for listing on all registered national security exchanges. Now, there's been a lot of speculation as to what happened here. Was the account hacked? Was Gary Gensler trying to manipulate the market? Or was it something else? Well, X, the account formerly known as Twitter, the platform formerly known as Twitter, has put out an investigation. The investigated X, Elon Musk is behind X, if you're not tracking that. He's been investigated by the SEC many times. So kind of the irony here is that Elon Musk, the investigated, has become the investigator. So kind of some funniness. Well, anyway, their conclusion here is that X can confirm that the account sec.gov was compromised, and we have completed a preliminary investigation based on our investigation, and the compromise was not due to any breach of X's systems, but rather due to an unidentified individual obtaining control over a phone number associated with the SEC Gov account through a third party. We can also confirm that the account did not have two-factor authentication enabled at the time the account was compromised. We encourage all users to enable this extra layer of security. More information and tips on how to keep your account secure can be found at their help center. Of course, here at the Investing Bros, we encourage everybody to have the maximum security. But this is insane. This is pretty crazy that the SEC that strives every single day to keep the securities of the markets safe and regulated, they did not have two-factor authentication enabled, and they got wrecked. They posted a tweet. My theory here, and now we're getting into conjecture because there's a lot of debate, right, about what I'm about to talk about. But everything I've said to you so far is just facts. So there's a lot of debate as to whether or not this was the tweet that we will see today. Sometimes accounts, especially professional or corporate accounts, will preload a tweet and then schedule it out. It's likely that this is the tweet that we will see today. There's also speculation that they're not going to do a social media post. Regardless of it all, because I want to get to Archie, guys, but this is important. Regardless of it all, don't believe anything you see on social media today. Tune in, obviously support the bros, support, whatever channel you want to tune into. Army Piper's going to be going live here in a little bit, and I'm going to be on that show as well. But the main source of information you should be trading and investing on is this website right here, sec.gov. This is where the press releases come out for the SEC. I'm going to refresh it for you just in case they've dropped the big news. They have not. So there hasn't been an update since January 5th when they approve the spot Bitcoin ETFs, which all indications are showing that they will approve it. It's going to be here. All right, guys, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Crypto Archie, and I've got one question.
I wish I had the answer, but I'm going to give my opinion, right? We don't know for certain. My opinion is we see an initial pump, maybe that lasts a day, 2 days, 3 days, and then at some point we're going to see a correction. I don't think this is just going to set us off into a super cycle or some sort of crazy bull run up to 70K. I think maybe we see Bitcoin hit 50K. Who knows exactly what specific level. And then we see a correction like a few days later. I don't think it's going to be a pump which lasts forever. There'll be some initial pump just on maybe a few hesitant investors who are waiting for the actual confirmation to buy. But then that will be followed by people who, were buying in anticipation of the bull run and then sell once it's priced in, or once the news is announced. So you have very regular buy the rumor, sell the news events. But then you also have situations where news does pump the markets. So anyone who says they completely and utterly know what's going to happen, I think are talking nonsense. This is a very complex matter. And most normies, most plebs, most average people, like myself, who don't have ties to the SEC, we're really best just rolling a dice because we don't have any, intelligentsia around us. We're not really in the know of the bureaucratic, elite. So we just don't
Right.
know. So the best thing you should do is probably guess. And I strongly recommend that no one takes trades under any circumstances around the ETF news. I said this last week, and some idiots, tried to put leverage on and long Bitcoin on the fake news
Right.
of the ETF, and they obviously got liquidated. And this happened as well a couple months ago.
It
I think it
did.
was Cointelegraph or whatever one it was,
Right.
where people bought anticipating the pump and then it dumped back down. So the exact same thing could happen when the news comes out. So don't take leverage trades on news, and I wouldn't make any rash or reckless decisions right now. I would just hold, keep your conviction, and don't buy or don't sell. Obviously, not financial advice, but that's what I'm kind of non-financially advising people to do.
Absolutely. That's a great answer to essentially what the question was. I don't know if everybody was able to hear it, but the question was, when the Bitcoin spot ETF is approved, does price go up or down for Bitcoin and for crypto? And I think Archie gave us an excellent answer to that today. And Army Piper jumping in the chat, big friend of Archie's, big friend of mine as well, and he's reminding everybody that T-Shroom will be on the show, the Piper Academy. We're pretty much at the end of this show. I'm going to jump on there, and then Archer. Get all my words here.
Archie Piper.
Archie, yeah, the Archie and Piper hybrid, the Archer. Archie, you're going to be on Piper Academy on Friday, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm going to be on as a guest. It's been a while since I've been able to talk to Army Piper at length, so I am looking forward to it. That man's a genius.
He is.
And he's also a great guy as well, which is, even more important. So I only like to collab with good people. I want to make this clear. There's a lot of channels out there. I get requests a lot to collab with people, but usually I go to them. Usually I ask them, can I collab with you? Because I like to collab with channels which I actually watch and I actually endorse. And, there's only a few, maybe a handful. And Investing Bros and Army Piper are two of those. So, yeah,
Awesome.
very happy to be on.
Super cool. I appreciate it, and I appreciate your answer, and I appreciate you, your kind words about Investing Bros. We have worked really hard, and so has Piper. Piper's got a new studio too, so I think he'll have it up in time for when you are there on Friday. All right. Well, Archie, you're known for picking some amazing crypto gems that have done an insane amount of upside from the time that you pick them to the time that you publish them. And, people have made a lot of money off of your picks. Of course, you're not issuing financial advice. Nobody's doing that on YouTube, of course. But Archie, there's got to be some projects that you are extremely excited about going into 2024, and I'd love to know what those projects are.
Absolutely, man. I think 2024 is going to be a very bullish year for crypto. We all know this, so I'm not going to, repeat the same stuff over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think this will be the year where we start to see Ethereum, go pretty bullish. I think we'll start to see altcoins go pretty bullish, and then we'll see the low caps go very bullish. And we already saw this to the back end of 2023. So you can make gains in any market, but it's just going to be way easier. You can choose the worst gaming cryptos, and they'll still pump at this point. But obviously, you guys know I'm trying to find the best ones. I'm not settling for bad ones just because they'll pump. I care more about actually having a criteria, having a very strict criteria, and not deviating away from it too much.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you miss pumps, there's been certain projects which have rallied 20x, 30x, which I knew about, but because they didn't fit my criteria, I avoided them. And I'm perfectly happy to do that because I've got a system which works well. So, the main thing I'm looking at this year is gaming cryptos.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's where most of the retail FOMO is going to be alongside meme coins, believe it or not. And I am starting to change my stance a little bit on meme coins now, which I can discuss as well. But gaming and meme coins, I think, are going to be the easiest things to target, particularly gaming, because gaming is very easy to understand. Meme coins, there's a lot more complexity to them, even though they seem very easy on the surface. Oh, you just find a good meme and then it pumps. No, you've got to check the contract. You've got to check the people behind it. You've got to, usually have some form of insider information about the exchange listings. Whereas with gaming cryptos, if the games are good and the team is good, it will pump. With meme coins, there's usually no team, so you can't even do research on the team. So my top picks right now, I have up on the screen. Maybe you could put it on. And, number one is Casper. This is the easiest one for me. Now, it's not gaming. It's a layer one, truly innovative and unique project out there. Haven't really seen anything like this since Bitcoin. And I'm not a moon boy on Casper. I want to make it clear. I'm not a maxi. It's less than 25% of my portfolio. So a maxi would usually be around 100%. So it's nowhere near that. I hold more Bitcoin than Casper as well. But I do think it's still undervalued. And the reason for this is we truly haven't seen a peer-to-peer crypto take off yet, other than Bitcoin. And we all know that it's not the most ideal form of cash. If you try and go to a supermarket and pay for something in Bitcoin, you're going to be waiting 40 minutes or so before the transaction's actually, validated or whatever. So Casper's instant, and it ties into decentralization as well because of it being a fair launch. So Casper for me is still very undervalued. Even though it's pumped a lot, it's still only a 2 billion market cap. If you go onto the top cryptos and you look what are above Casper, there's some pretty niche cryptos out there that are above Casper. The likes of ICP, I think. The likes of even Immutable X, I think, might be above Casper. So for something which is going to be the cash of the blockchain, or the block DAG, which is what Casper is, it's not even a blockchain. Mm-hmm. For something which is going to be the cash for the future, digital, decentralized cash, it's still hugely undervalued. And I can genuinely see this doing minimum 10x, maximum 50x this bull run. So Casper's number one. Number two would be Hello Labs. I've talked about this already. One of the best founders in crypto. The charts on these cryptos is one of the most bullish things. You notice a very clear pattern. Higher highs, higher lows, and no crazy volatility to the downside, right? You don't see a 95% dip at the launch of the token, right? Mm-hmm. Because what happens is usually these tokens in crypto have very bad tokenomics. 90% are allocated to the team and insiders, right? And what are these guys going to do at launch? They're going to dump the tokens. Hello Labs, I think around 60% is allocated to the community. So the vast majority of people holding these tokens is not the team. It's not VCs. It's ordinary people. And most ordinary people are going to hold this for the bull run. They're not really going to sell because they don't hold much. Maybe they hold $100, $500. They're not holding 200 grand or 500 grand, and they're going to have less of an intent to dump. So that's a very, very bullish thing for me with Hello Labs. The chart looks really good. And believe it or not, the exchanges aren't that great. It's only got Mexi, BitGet, and Gate.io, the serious ones anyway. So, still no KuCoin, still no Coinbase, and still no Binance. And the fact that they shifted over to an Ethereum contract made me believe they are going for that Coinbase listing some point in the bull run. Because, BNB coins don't tend to get listed on Coinbase. They prefer Ethereum. So the fact that they went for that migration, or whatever you want to call it, is very bullish for Hello Labs, because it shows to me the intent to get it listed on some of the big exchange names out there. So all this needs for me is a Crypto.com listing, a Coinbase listing, or a Binance listing. It'll probably go and do another 5x over a week. That's really what it is. The show's coming out soon. Everyone says this is going to dump when the show comes out, and it's going to be done and you should never buy it after that. I've never heard more nonsense in my life, to be honest. I think it's going to be around for a long time. They're going to be releasing another show in 2024 as well, towards the back end. So I just hear so much nonsense, man. People saying, oh, just sell it now. It's never going to be around for a long time. Once they release that first show, it's going to be dead. Mm-hmm. No, it's not. This is a multi-sectorial crypto. They're going to be in gaming. They're going to be in all different realms of entertainment. So anyone who's fudding this for the sole reason that once the show comes out, it's going to dump, I disagree with wholeheartedly. And that's not to say it won't dump a little bit when the show comes out. It absolutely could. We don't know. It's a bit like the ETF. It could pump, it could dump. But long term, meaning 2025, I see this being up another 30 to 50x from here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's a difference, right? There's always the question: do you sell the rumor? Do you buy the rumor? Do you sell the news? Do you buy the news? And in any kind of event, right? In investing, the difference with Hello Labs is it's a giant marketing experience, right? It's a show. It's not an upgrade to Polygon, uh, you know, technical backend, right? It's not something where there's anticipation, but then there's no real follow through of excitement and experienced difference in the quality of the experience with the product. With Hello Labs, it's going to absolutely be a change. The change is simple. There's no show, then there is a show, right? That's open to the public, and people are going to go wild for it. Now, it may not be like a giant raving success, but even the fact that it's published and people can watch it, and folks who are hyper focused on these types of cryptos here, the top 50, these folks are not clocking the Hello Labs of the world, right? They're still thinking about, oh, should I flip my Cardano into AVAX? Should I flip my AVAX into Solana? That's the kind of thoughts that they're having, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with being a high cap trader or a high cap investor or whatever, right? But when they start seeing a show, that is instantly going to be something they can't ignore. They're gonna be captivated by the show. They're going to learn about new projects to invest in, and all along there'll be a token that's associated with the show in general. And I don't think that that's a thesis I want to miss out on.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like it's not just about the show with Hello. They have a whole arcade as well, and people always write this off. They don't see the potential for what it could be. They just look at what's announced for the short term.
Mm-hmm.
And long term. This is coming from someone who's taught to Paul Caslin. This project is going to go for multiple different niches, not just a killer whale show. They've got other TV shows coming out. One called Crypto Cribs. They've got games which people already play. One of the most played games on the blockchain. And I wouldn't be surprised if they did delve into other things like film, music, who knows. So you invest in cryptos because of the marketing at the end of the day. I always say this and it makes people laugh. It's not about the games. It's not about the show. It's about the marketing and the hype. And how better to generate hype than have a name called Hello and have a Hollywood guy behind it.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like it's written for me. It's a safer low cap. Low caps obviously aren't safe. I want to make that clear disclaimer. But out of the low caps that exist, I think this is one of the more reputable ones because of the token allocation, because of the guy behind it, Paul Caslin. He's not going to risk his whole reputation to scam a crypto. So even the way they're operating, their Twitter got hacked one day, and they've announced that everyone's going to get everything back. You're going to get every penny back if you lost money from the hack. So they're ran by good people with good intentions, and I don't see it doing anything really shady at all, which most cryptos do, by the way. Most cryptos are pretty shady.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Well, this is the first I'm hearing of Crypto Cribs. I'm a prime example of what I just talked about. My head has been squarely in the ETF narrative, right? Trying to make sure that I'm bringing the bros up-to-date information on the ETFs. Tell me a little bit about Crypto Cribs, because that's actually kind of exciting. Is it what it sounds like?
Yeah, I think they said that the show wasn't going to come out just yet because they didn't want to release it in a bear market.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like a little bit, flexing and all of that, and people don't want to see that in the bear market. But ultimately, what the show is going to people who have made money in cryptos cribs. I think that's what it is. I haven't heard much about it, but from the surface level that I've listened to,
Mm-hmm.
it sounds like it's a show where they go and look at properties and just explore the success of crypto entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And maybe the Sam Bankman-Fried situation happened. They didn't want to release it. They didn't want to go to Bahamas. So
Right.
I think that's why they put it on hold, maybe.
I would still watch that. I still would find it entertaining, maybe for different reasons than they originally produced it for. But let's go back to your screen, and we'll do we got about 10 minutes left. We do a short show here in the morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But let's go back to your screen and do a lightning round, and then I have a couple questions to kind of follow up. So let's take a look at them now.
Absolutely. So let's go through these quite quick. So after Hello, my next ranked crypto in my list would be GFAL, Games for a Living token. This one is a gala killer for me. The chart, again, you notice a trend, higher highs, higher lows, no crazy volatility. I don't like super volatile cryptos. I like gradual gains and consistent gains that are just going to keep going up for the whole bull run. And that's what GFAL is. It's a very solid crypto. The founder of EA is on the team here. How much better can you get?
Wow.
How could you get a better founder of your crypto than literally the founder of EA? EA
EA
Sports.
Sports. It's
Exactly,
in the
man.
game.
I used to play FIFA every day to the point where I got too addicted to it and too competitive. I had to delete it and say I'd never play it again. So
What was your team on
yeah.
FIFA?
I would go Liverpool. Liverpool was
Nice.
my team.
Nice.
But I would also go like Real Madrid when they were the best, just to beat everyone, just to be really sweaty.
I've got my
Um,
Manchester United beanie right here.
I don't like Man United, bro, but in the UK it's very hostile,
Yeah.
the football teams. So I don't care at the end of the day. I'm not a child. I'm not gonna like argue with someone over a football
Yeah.
team. But if you you know supported Man United in Liverpool, you wouldn't go down very well. And if you supported Liverpool in Manchester,
Right.
it wouldn't be very well either. They're very
Yeah.
big rivals. But yeah, so GFAL, very good crypto, solid crypto, very good team. Chart looking really bullish. Overall, I can't fault it. I see this doing a gala. It's only 61 million in market cap. If it
Oh
goes to
wow.
gala's level, it's just under 100x. So,
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's going to happen, but those types of gains are certainly possible with GFAL. And the name is good as well, right? Games for a Living, GFAL.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, you got to have a big emphasis on marketing and just hype. If something has a 20-word long name that no one can pronounce, do you think it's going to succeed as a business? Like,
Probably
what
not.
companies in the S&P 500 have 20-word long names with loads of numbers and letters? They're all simple. Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Apple, Google.
Mm-hmm.
Like, some people are so crazy when they
X.
research cryptos,
Yeah.
X.
Yeah. The names are
Exactly.
just getting shorter, Archie. To your point.
Exactly. And it's the same in crypto. You don't want um, stupidly named cryptos. I see
Yeah.
some really, really stupid ones out there. I'm not going to name them
Yeah.
just because I know there'll be one guy in the comment
Yeah.
section who gets really angry.
Yeah.
But look for simplicity and look for catchy names. Another one is PlayZap, catchy name there as well. This is more of a risky play, but it's a mobile gaming studio. So if you want to look for mobile games, PlayZap's a good one to target. It's seeing a nice dip right now. So if you did want to load up, this
Yep.
wouldn't be a terrible opportunity. You're buying it when it's down over 50%. So you're getting a nice little discount. And Lit Labs, man, let me tell you how bullish I am on this. This is sitting at 4 cents. This one is super bullish, super, super bullish. BitGet listing, MEXC listing. The game is like a strategy game, kind of like chess, but not at all like chess at the same time. I don't want to try and explain the game because I'm not a gamer,
I've seen
but
it. It looks really cool.
you'll know what it is if you play games regular. You'll probably be
Yeah.
able to understand what it is. But yeah, Lit Labs, and again, a very good name, Lit Labs. Let's get lit. That's what people say when they play games. And
That's
this
what
is
I say.
another studio. Yeah, T Shroom plays games every day.
That's right.
He's
And
a
I
big
get lit.
gamer. Yeah, Axie Infinity or Sandbox, which one?
Yeah, exactly. Both.
Yeah,
Dual
yeah,
screens.
yeah. So yeah, another studio. Multiple games are going to be coming out on this one. They only have one game out right now, but they're also putting Cyber Titans on mobile, so they're going to be cross-platform. These are the things I look for. There's a commonality with my research: simplicity, a good name, a good chart, good exchange listings. It's
Yeah.
really easy when you have a criteria. It's really easy, and that's what I'm doing here. I'm not going for really niche games. I'm not going for single games. I'm not going for games that have 20 words in the name. I'm going for new, good named, good marketed, good teamed cryptocurrencies. And that's pretty much it, man, when it comes to it. And another one's Cap Games, which you can look at. This one is having some pretty big sells from some early stakers in the project. So just be a little bit careful with this. It does look kind of sketchy on the chart here. But overall, this is another good play. If you look at the website, it's one of the best websites I've seen in the gaming side of crypto. This is like a publisher, so it's kind of like Netflix. If you've got a crypto game and you want to put it out there to get more traction, you can put it on Cap Games' website, and you can see all the different games here. Some big ones are on here. I think maybe Shrapnel, Star Atlas, and some others. But also they have their own games. Like this one here has the Cap logo at the top. That shows that it's made by them. And this one will implement their own token. So this is a dark horse. If you want to be a little degen, you want to throw in maybe $50 into something risky that could amount to something pretty well, then this is the one for you. And all of these games are playable. They're all out. I don't understand why this one is so small and why it's seeing sell-offs, from early investors.
Mm-hmm.
But this is why you need to research tokenomics, because Cap Games token allocation is not good. It's not like Hello or Casper, where a huge amount of the tokens go to the community and go to the public.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the tokens are with early investors and VCs and the team. So those types of things are a little bit more sketchy. Yep. I put in 1% of my portfolio into this, so I'm not really bothered if it does a loss. And that's why risk management's so important. You got to put 1% in these, 0%, 0.2%, Yep. You don't put in 20% into a low cap. That's ridiculous.
Absolutely. And I've got a comment on that, and then I have a question for you as we wrap up here. Yes. So a lot of the folks that watch Investing Bros, they don't dabble in the lower cap gems, right? So why T Shroom would you bring somebody like Archie on to kind of bring some of these lower cap gems? Well, we're going into the bull market, right? And while the Bitcoins of the world are probably only going to do a 5 set, potentially 7, maybe 10x, right? A lot of the names that Archie just mentioned, they're in a peer group that could potentially do 100x, right? So there's a difference. Now, the risks to reward law is still in effect. The more reward potential, the more risk. So definitely keep that in mind. And that's the disclaimer. But the overall disclaimer is, if you're in crypto, you're in the Wild West. Always keep that in mind when you're investing, and also when you're using tools to invest, like MetaMask, like Trust Wallet, Coinbase. These, you have to know what you're doing, or you can get totally wrecked on accident. You can get wrecked by projects. You can also get wrecked by yourself and a lack of knowledge of how to use the tools to invest. Now, Archie, I have a question for you really quickly. On my screen, I've got CoinGecko's most popular narratives of 2023. Of course, some of these will be similarly as popular in the future. But you are someone who I kind of think of as someone who also, in addition to picking projects, you're really good at picking narratives. So I have a question for you, because you're really big on GameFi. What is the narrative that you would be the least surprised to do well, that you're actually not bearish on, but you don't think is going to do well? Does that question make sense?
Could you just repeat that?
Yeah.
The one which I think will do bad, or the
what
one
do you
that I think
think
will
is
do well?
What do you think is the sleeper narrative that you would be like, oh wow, I never thought that narrative would actually do well, and it does in 2024?
Interesting question. So one that's kind of going unnoticed right now, and no one's really talking about it, but it will amount to something. I think it's difficult to answer that. Maybe something really basic, but's needed, like DEXs, because DEXs are needed. No one really talks about them. They did very well last cycle. So maybe DEXs, I would say, is one. And then the other one I would say is Bitcoin ecosystem tokens. So BRC20.
Yeah.
Yeah. For
Excellent.
me, that is going super unnoticed. And also check out like the NFTs on BRC20. I'm not an NFT guy, but if you want to throw a little bit of money in, or you're a very high net worth individual and you've just got some money to throw away, then check out Magic Eden. And these could be the next big NFTs on BRC20. I bought a Bitcoin Frog when it was like $4,000, I think, and now it's $20,000 or something crazy like that. So these things go up a lot in value, but they are very risky. So be very cautious with them. I tell people you shouldn't put in more than 0.00001% of your net worth into NFTs. And I think you'll do pretty well if you do that.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Archie, for joining us. I don't want to step on Piper's toes too much because his show is about to go live if it isn't already. But thank you so much for joining us. And bros, thank you so much for tuning in. If you're tuning in for the first time, first of all, thank you so much for giving us your time. Consider subscribing. We usually cover the news here at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every single weekday. And then we also go live at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to kind of digest how the market has reacted to the news and make some predictions for the next trading day. I'm T. Shroom, and I've been joined by Crypto Archie. It's been my absolute pleasure. Hopefully, we're going to be having him on a little bit more frequently. And it sounds like I might be on Crypto Archie, your YouTube channel as well. So be looking forward to that. But anything you want to say before we go?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to come on, and make sure everyone hits the like on the stream. Let's try and get like 300 likes by tomorrow.
Right.
So yeah, thank you so much for having me on, man.
Awesome. All right, guys. We'll see you at 3 p.m. Bye.
Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego. Connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor of the TA. Shouted out loud on the PA. T-Shroom's news got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego. Connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.